when you think about the leadership lessons you've learned from Coach Wooden during your playing days and afterwards, what comes top of mind?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is that he had the advantage of knowing what a winning team looks like. He had been on one in high school. He had been on one in college at Purdue. And even afterwards, he played a little bit of a semi-pro, just a couple of games, I think. But he knew what it's supposed to look like, right? And so he had this vision, and he knew what the teamwork should look like. He had it in his mind. He's seen it. The defense, what it should look like. That you're playing man to man, but everybody's helping everybody else. We're shooting the gaps, we're putting pressure on them. He knew what a fast break should look like. Pushing the ball up the floor, and why that was important. He wanted to rebound. He knew what rebounding was going to look like. He wanted 3 guys on the board, and he wanted that quick outlet pass and get it up the floor, get the defense backpedaling. You wanted to keep putting pressure on the other team, keep them backpedaling. When they make the other team shoot a bad shot, get it and go and get an easy layup. Make the other team do something that don't let them do what they want to do. They throw up a bad shot or a steal, and then off to the races and lay it up. Shoot open jumpers. Don't take too long on offense. Keep pass, boom, and then keep the pace up. They're not used to playing at our speed. They're not used to playing at our speed, and that's what we did. So you have to see that, right? You have to see what that looks like, and then you look at your personnel and you say, okay, we got to make that happen. How am I going to make that happen? And the second thing, I think you realize that you can't do this without developing people, without teaching. And this was his strength. He was really good at teaching. His practice plans were works of art.
Describe one, because the attention to detail, the down to the minute nature of these practice plans is remarkable. And I don't think most leaders in business or in sports even have an idea of how to create something like this.
Yeah. So our practices were from 2:29 to 4:59. 2.5 hours. And we always started on time, and we never ended at 5 o'clock. It was always 4:59 or 4:58. So the last half of practice, or the last half hour, when we're scrimmaging and working on, finishing it up, right? Don, we knew we were going to be finished at a certain time. There's the clock. So we pushed ourselves as hard as we could. Coaches that run over practice and are notorious for running, we got to spend another 15, 20 minutes on that. Those players don't work hard toward the end of practice because they don't know how much energy they need to finish practice. So they pace themselves. So this was and then everything was timed to the minute because that's what he needed. He said, need 10 minutes for this, 5 minutes. And a lot of that was just stuff that we do all the time. So he knew 15 minutes for the 3-up-2 conditioner, the fundamentals, and this, and then for teaching some of the breakdown offense and defense stuff. So, but then it was always revised. He kept notes during practice, so we need a little longer for that, or a lot of notes about players. He needs more work on this, or he needs more work on this. Now, the first half hour of practice was we were just out there shooting, whatever we want to do. We work on our stuff, and coach would work on certain individuals on certain things that they needed for that practice. So it was individual time and warm-up time, right, for the rest of us. Coach never worked with me on anything. I was the backup. But, he would work on the back of the press or whatever. But anyway, and then once practice started, it was always a light moment, just getting together and said, something funny. And then let's go. And then we would go into our change of pace, change of direction, full court cutting without the ball, backward sliding, one-on-one, without the ball, one-on-one with the ball, sprint catch up, full court weaves, three, throw the ball up, pass to an outlet, go behind that person, and then the next group goes when they reach half court, and there was boom, 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 boom. There was hardly any standing around. There were weaves, there were tight weaves, there were loose weaves, there were fast break drills, there was jump stops and pivots, there was anti-over rebounding drills, and it was from one thing to the other, sprint, 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 sprint. And the managers had all the balls ready at the next basket for the next drill, whatever it was, right? And that lasted about 20, half an hour. And then the rest of it was break down whatever we were teaching. If we were teaching a certain part of the offense, then he would show the whole, right? Just demonstrate what the whole looks like. And then he'd break it up into pieces. So the guards go over here, the forwards go over here, the centers go over there with the coaches. And we work on the pieces, and then he'd put some together and finally end up at the end of practice in a 5-on-5 scrimmage situation. Now, this is the really weird thing. People don't know this. We were in better shape, Don, than any team in the country. We outran everybody. But Don, we never ran a wind sprint. Not one wind sprint. That means, just running lines. We did everything with the ball. And here's the other weird thing. When we scrimmaged, we never went down and back. We'd start on one end, the offense, let's say the offense is working on a play and we'd be on defense, right? Backup. The offense would try to score, and we'd get the ball either by way of a rebound or out of bounds or steal. And then, so they'd try to run their play, and then we'd go down the other end, and we got a chance to shoot, coach blow the whistle, and the offensive team would go back on offense, and we're in defense, and we do the same thing going this way. And we never went down there and back. It was always stop, restart. This is the way he taught. It was repetition, 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 and control. If you go down and back, which most coaches do, it's going to get raggedy, and you're not going to be able to teach anything, because when it stops and you want to teach something that happened, when the play first started, it was too long. It was too long ago. Coach was able to stop and say, okay, that was not a good decision. I think you should have, let's try this. Okay, let's do it again now. And it was always, hurry up, do it, hurry up. And we would run it again. And can you imagine running the same play for 15 minutes, Don? Over and over again, and working on fast break, defensive transition, and you get all your ball handling, and your fundamentals are being tested at a super high speed. With that kind of repetition, there's no wonder that we were so good at what we did.